Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. This video is the second video of the new playlist named Bike Riding Weather Application. And as you know, in this playlist we are going to create a bike riding application that takes the weather data from Open Weather API and checks which day is the best day to go for walking or biking in the next 5 days. In the previous video, we saw and we built the domain layer, which is the business layer of the Kotlin architecture. And in this video, we are going to build the data layer and we are going to have the network call. Let's get started. Okay, here in the domain, we build these files. Let's have a quick review. We had the weather models. The received data are supposed to come and sit in this weather response, and it has some sub data classes like weather item, like daily forecast, and the city, which is here. You can see them all here. And we had the bike riding models. We create these data classes and the enum class for the final score, for the bike riding factor, the data of each factor like temperature, chance of rain, wind, humidity, and the weather condition. And we had this repository interface. We are going to pass the latitude and longitude to this suspend function, and the result will sit inside this weather response. We had two use cases. One of them was the get weather forecast use case. The view model have the connection to the domain layer through this use case and is going to send its request for the network call through this use case. And in the response, when we are receiving the data, we are going to use this use case to do all of the calculation and find the final score and send it back to the view model to display it on the screen. So all the data that we need on the screen, all of the icons, all of the explanations and the descriptions are created or submitted here in this use case. Let me close all of them and start from the data package here. Right click, new package, remote. Sorry. Okay, here we have a remote package inside the data package, and we are going to start by creating an object. Let's calling it config or configuration or utils or something like that. Here we need to create some constant variables, and let's start from the reference of the API key. Here you are going to write your own API key. For now, I'm going to put 3 X's here. You should go to this URL, to this web page, open weathermap.org/API. You can find the sign in tool, and you can use it to sign in or sign up for the website and create your own API key. And here we have the API configurations, the base URL, which is from here to this slash, and we have another URL for the icons to receive the icons, and the rest of this URL we are going to create it inside the weather API service. Before creating the weather API service interface, actually let's create the interface itself, but for the functions, let's go to the website of the Open Weather map. I should explain some things there. Weather API service, enter. Let's go to the Open Weather API website. Okay, here in the API, you will see this grid of subscription. Here, the thing that gives us a forecast and we can use it in the free plan is this one. 3-hour forecast, 5 days. That means within the 5 future days, every 3 hours, we are going to have the data. From now till 5 days, every 3 hours. Let's click on it and we'll see this page and the sample of it with all of the documentation will be here. I said from here to this slash is our base URL. Here we have this forecast, which is the parameter of our get in the suspend function of the API service. We have latitude, longitude, and the APID, which is API key, and these are our let's call them queries. Okay, let's go to the Postman, and I'm going to show you a network call. Okay, here in the Postman, I have the full URL, the forecast, latitude, longitude, APID, and here I have one extra thing. And units equal to metric. If I delete this and send the network request, you can see all of the received data are, for example, the temperatures on Fahrenheit. But we need them to be on metric in centigrade, Celsius. Okay, let's check what do we have. From this part to this is a piece of our response. As you can see here, we have the weather condition, we have all of the data about the temperature, we have the speed of the wind, the humidity, and the ID of the weather and the ID of the icon. All of the things that I explained in the first part of this video are here. This is the 15 p.m. and 6th of September 2025, and the next response is 6 p.m. the next one 9 p.m. the next one midnight, and like this. You can see the forecast like this till the end. We are going to use it. At the end of it, you can see this city data, and that's it. Let's go back and use this URL inside our Android Studio to create the API service. Okay, here in the API service, I have this interface now, and I'm going to use the get get reference from the retrofit 2 parentheses, and inside it forecast. Then in the next line, suspend function get weather forecast. And I said that we are going to use queries. So the first query was lat, and here lat of type of double and comma. Let me enable the AI to help me a bit. writing the code. And one more line, units, and I'm going to give a constant value to this unit, which is the metric. Here also you can write equal and write this API key, but I prefer to have it like that. It's more professional, so avoid writing it here. Now at the end we need to redirect this request, and the response should go to this weather response. Okay, that's it for the API service. We created, but as you can see, it's gray, so we never used it. Neither the main interface nor the suspend function of this interface. Okay, the next thing that we need is to create a repository implementation here. We had this repository here, which was a repository to show us the get weather forecast network call, and now we need to implement it here to make the connection between the domain layer and the data layer. So let's create a package here. Be careful here. Remove the remote, then write the repository. Okay, now here we have this remote, and here we have the repository. Inside it, I need a class, and I'm going to call it, as I said, it will be implementation of this repository. So weather repository implementation. Okay, inside this class constructor, we need to give a reference of our API service. So private value of API service, which is weather API service, and here we are going to give inheritance of the weather repository to this weather repository implementation, and we need to implement the members, and that's it. Let's inline them. As you can see, it's not happy. That means we need to return something because it's override function from this repository. So we should give something to this repository, which will be the data that are coming from the API. Okay, here we need to swing something. So let's write the return and try and catch and the block of the catch, and here start from having a value, calling it response, and equals to, let's use this API service dot, let's call the function of this API service, and here I'm going to swing. Here we have this latitude and longitude, and here we have this latitude and longitude, which are the equal factors. And inside this API service, we have this latitude and longitude. So here in this weather repository implementation, we need to connect this latitude and longitude, the parameters I mean. So I'm going to write the lat equals to this lat. The lon equals to this one. And the API service, the API key is coming from the config dot open weather API key. That's it. And we are going to have a result. If it is successful, we are going to pass the response. And here, if our result has a failure, we need to pass the exception. So E column exception. And here we are going to pass this E. That's it. So technically, we now implemented this weather repository here in this class. And we made the connection between these two interfaces here. Now, let's go one step further. As you can see, this one now is gray, but this one is not gray anymore. And this one is blue as well. So we use them. Now, somewhere we need to use this class. Where? Of course, in the dependency injection. As you see here, for example, we injected this, and here inside our use case, we had here this one injected this, and somewhere else also we injected some other stuff. And here we need to make the dependency injection to create all of them and inject them. Right click, create the file, calling it app module. Let me disable this again. It's sometime going on my nerve. Okay, let's start from building a retrofit reference to create the network call, the most important thing. So we are going to make it singleton and retrofit reference from the retrofit 2 dot builder parentheses next line dot first the base URL config dot base URL, then dot add converter factory, here JSON converter factory, and dot create and dot build the reference of the retrofit for us. And now let's create our API service here. We have the interface of API service, but somewhere we need to use it. We need to create it here. Single with a qualifier. Sorry, I made a mistake, not here. Okay, here I have the get with the qualifier. The retrofit and parentheses dot create, and here we don't need the qualifier. Alt and enter, and weather API service column class dot Java. Okay, here we created a reference of the weather API service because we need to, for example, inject it here. So now we have it inside our dependency injection. And in the next line, let's use these references. We created the retrofit, we gave it to the API service, and now repository. Again, it should be single, which means singleton. And now let's have the qualifier. Whether repository, and here whether repository implementation, and this class needs the API service, so get, and automatically it will get it. Okay. Here again, we need a single block for the use cases. The first one, get weather forecast use case, and it needed, as I said, a reference of the repository, and it has it now. And again, single calculate bike riding score, and that's it. And here the view model, which is under construction. Okay, that was the thing that we needed here in this video to create the things that we need. Let's check what do we have now here. In the data, we have this remote package, the config and the API service is created completely. The weather repository implementation is created, and we implemented this repository here. And in the dependency injection, we have the app module, but we don't have the view model still. So in the next video, we are going to work on the presentation layer and create the view model. And later we should come back to this dependency injection to introduce this view model to our module. And that's it for now. I hope you liked this video and it was helpful for you. If you have any comment, any question, please write them down below in the comment box, or scan this QR code and write them in the contact form of the website. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to financially support me, you can buy me a coffee through link down below in the description. Have a good time, have a great week, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.